Hello. Come on in, guys. This will be our last Sunday for a while for the energy healing readings, live explanation. How's everyone doing? Awesome. Come on in. Today's going to be pretty relaxed. Of course, we'll do the same format, a little bit of a teaching, a little bit of a healing, and then some reading. So if there's something, someone on your heart and energy, a loved one, an angel you feel like you need connected with, come on in. Okay. What's up, guys? If you could ask any questions, today we're going to... My cat's here. I don't know if you can hear. Here's her tail. If you could understand one thing about energy, or when we say readings, or angels, or the other side... Sparta. Yes. Hold on. Let's show little Sparta. Well, she's not very little anymore, but she's laying on the infrared mat. Sorry to disrupt you. Anyways, if my phone stand gets knocked over, it's her. She's definitely rubbing up against it. Today I had an energy healing session after the yoga and energy healing class I teach, and it really brought me back to just some basics. I think in a good way, we've gone in this community full speed ahead, and we've been doing readings, and we've been talking about advanced things, but that's okay if you have to catch the replay. But we haven't really talked about just the simple basics of connection. So this woman came in and she has autoimmune disease, and so I already have like a heart and a connection with her. Jeff jokes, he's like, you're going to start like your chronic illness groupies. I would love chronic illness groupies. We can all get behind that. Not because I want to promote that state, but like, if there's one thing that I know my soul is here to do, it's to pull people out of the pits of chronic illness for sure, and remind them of who they are and why we experience the things we are. So she comes in and, you know, she's telling me she's been doing all the supplements, and she's been avoiding all the like histamine foods, and just like the misinformation that we get into with chronic illness of like, I had someone comment on, and love to this person if they ever get to hear this, but they commented on a spinach soup recipe, and they're like, spinach is actually really bad for you. And I'm like, how far have we become, like so far apart? How far have we gotten to be so far apart from our true nature that we're now fearing healing foods as spinach? And I get it. Yeah, there's the crap that they spray on our vegetables, the inorganic, but like never are we ever better off eating processed food and inordinate amounts of animal protein than we are produce, like fruits or vegetables or any kind. So anyways, this woman, she comes in. I normally don't work or do like private sessions on Sundays, but it was the only time we could figure out. And I could tell there was a connection. I was meant to work with her. So we're talking about her health, and she was telling me, you know, like the food she's been avoiding. She has like 4 things she can eat, and all the supplements that she's been doing, and how she's supposed to be better. And I can just like feel like all of these presences around her that are just like, remind her of her energy, remind her of her energy. And I'm like, well, why? Like, tell me why you booked this session, why you're here. And she's like, well, because I think there's a different route I need to take. And so when connecting with our intuition, it's the truest part of ourselves. Like if there were no other voices telling you what to do, if there were no other influences, if society and trauma wasn't lodged in your body, like what would it be? And for her, it was like, I would learn more about energy, and that's what I would come to understand and do. And so we got into the session, and right away I could feel, so her grandma was sending me some symbols. So here's the thing about energy and connecting and mediums and intuition, is that everyone has it. It's like an iPhone, right? So everyone has an iPhone, just about, or everyone pretty much has a smartphone, or most people have access. Let's say middle class in the United States. Let's make it fair. Okay. Everyone has an iPhone. Everyone has a smartphone. This smartphone that we all have access to works independently of us knowing how to use it. This smartphone will always be able to make a phone call. This smartphone will always be able to utilize apps. This smartphone has special features. This smartphone can do usually way more things than we realize it can do. We are smartphones. We have applications, as in our intuition, our heart language, our body speaks its own language, right? Like autoimmune, chronic illness, even a fever, this is the body's way of communicating that society has deemed and taught us is bad, is scary, is something that we shouldn't listen to, needs to be controlled, needs to be injected with certain things that will keep us safe, right? So this smartphone has an app, your smartphone, that you can click on your smartphone app that is Connect Higher. Everyone has this. And when I was working with this woman today, she was telling me about like her chronic illness and where she's hit all these roadblocks. And immediately I feel this like loving grandma presence. And I just trust it now, right? Remember last week we talked about like, you're not crazy. The times that you were told, like your doctors were telling you you're crazy, your lab work's fine, or you felt a connection with maybe a loved one's past, like you are not crazy. We are 6 sensory beings living in a 5 sensory world. It's not you, it's the rest of the world. So trust it. So symbols start coming in, and I just want to break it down like really simple today so that you can be empowered and remember that like your loved ones or the Holy Spirit to you or whatever it is that's really important to you spiritually and the way you connect like is literally, again, a smartphone. You just have to open the application. So I'm sitting, and what I've noticed in my work is that it's not always super straightforward what's going to happen unless I set a really clear intention. So if I'm doing an intuitive medium reading and I say I am just going to connect with loved ones, like this person, I had a gal who lost her grandpa. She told me she was coming for a reason. I didn't know who she lost, but I was like, it's a male. And we set the intention. It was just a reading. This gal came in for energy healing. So it's like, am I going to be helping things come out of the body, or are we going to be connecting? So she sits down, I'm getting some symbols, and I ask her about these symbols, and she was crying. She said it was probably her grandma, and these are how the symbols resonated. And then when she went to lie down on the table and I touched her feet, I could feel like she has endometriosis. So that's a lot of like blocked feminine energy or hurt and pain from a female in their life. Touch her left side, and all of these tears start pouring out, and it's like all feminine left side energy, right? And as she was crying, she was like, I don't understand why I'm crying and what this is coming up. We opened another app on the smartphone. We opened the like clean out this app, right? So just setting an intention to feel, to heal, to work with other energies can bring in loved ones, can bring in spirits, can bring in angels, whatever it is. Jesus, of course, came in for her. It was actually her brother. And then setting the intention of, I want to go to the places that in my body that are stored and locked up and that are giving me symptoms and really presenting disease. And so we went there. And what I think that I just want to break it down to be super, super simple tonight is the main thing she walked away with is she's like, I didn't realize how my brother and both of my grandmas are so interconnected with me. She, one of her family members that crossed over, she's like, I thought they were mad at me. And there was no hint of anger at all in this person's soul when they came through. So that's a question too, right? Like if we're just making it really simple. So like, how do you understand who it is coming through or what it's like when you're connecting with your intuition or when you're connecting energetically with the spirit? Because our soul, our spirit, it never changes and it never dies, right? So like your little quirks and your little personalities, I know I talk about this spirit a lot, but when I lost a good friend that I grew up with, when they crossed over, I could like hear, we weren't super close at the time of their passing, but we were growing up. And after they crossed over and I had this connection with them, especially for the first 2 weeks before I think they like fully went, they would like laugh at things. I could like hear them with this and they would say things like really corny jokes, and I could like hear them, like they would come back up. And so because their soul, this person, you bet I'll be haunting people in their sleep about drinking celery juice. Like that part of Jen's soul is never going to change. Or like my mom is like, I hear you when I'm like at the grocery store or when I'm like about to order something that I know it's not going to help me. I'm like, yeah, Mom, because you just told me this week that your blood pressure was elevated and we know that's your liver saying that it's getting congested, right? So like my soul's never going to change in that way. My soul is here to help people step into feeling better, improving their bodies. Yeah, I do, Emma. So that they can like achieve their highest frequency, not your highest frequency. You can do the work here that you're meant to do on earth. Like it is that simple. But with this woman, she was like, she had this huge release. And there's a cool part of the story, what happened after. But she's like, I didn't realize that they were right there. And they had so many messages, especially for her, because she's really done all the physical things in her healing journey. This loved one came through to pull her really energetically away from a relationship that she's entangled with another family member. That is really what led to this person who's crossed over demise. So it's not very often anymore that after an energy session that I feel just spent, but I taught a pretty big yoga and energy healing class this morning, and groups, I think lately I've been vibing more with group energy than individual. And so we did this session. This doesn't happen very often, but I felt so spent. Like I was nauseous. My head was hurting. I was like, wow, I really got in there with her. She walked out of the door and I turned around and this jar that I was like right next to fell off the wall and shattered everywhere. And I was like, that feels so much better. So glass breaking, you can look it up. It will say like all of these 7 years of bad luck and omens, but glass breaking is energy moving and shifting. The biggest transformational parts of my life, and I've seen in other people's journey, they're like, glass keeps breaking. Like I pick up a glass and it cracks, or things are shattering. Rose just said she's going to be haunting people with celery juice. You bet. I'm going to come in people's sleep and be like reminding them when I'm crossed over, probably my kids, if they need it, if their GI is looking inflamed, I'm going to be like, you're not drinking your celery juice. Yeah. So the point is like that humor is, I'm saying like your soul is your soul, your sense of humor, your personality, it doesn't change. We are a smartphone and we can open apps at any time in different ways, like connecting with intuition, understanding our body's language. Your body is talking to you in symptoms to get your attention, to let you know where you're out of alignment. Past loved ones, spirits, angels, Jesus, whatever is important to you, or whatever you're experiencing is coming through to communicate with you through different apps in your phone. Is this kind of making sense? I want to make it so simple and so easy to connect that you can't doubt it when it's happening to you. Because here's another simple truth. The intuitives, the mediums, the readers that you look up to, they are no different than you. Like all of us have the same capabilities. It's just some of us have been playing around on our smartphones or iPhones longer, that we understand like this app, when I open it, does this thing. This app, when I open it, does that thing. You notice it. Like people who don't play around on their smartphones a lot, like those who are creators on Instagram, they know all the really cool tricks to make their really cool reels. It's just like a person who's been working with energy or with spirits longer, like they're understanding how to use different applications, how to use different processes and different tools and techniques to access things. And then the same thing with medium energy, psychic energy, intuitive energy, healing energy. You've just like, they're different apps on your phone. So I want to encourage you that you, like this woman, when she got off the table, I was like, holy crap. I don't think her body would hurt so bad and she would be this sick if she understood how to use some of the apps on her phone and connect with these 3 really important people she's had a lot of loss in her life, and very traumatic loss. Not like, oh, it was their time, but very traumatic. And she lived, I don't know, the last 3-4 years thinking that someone was mad at her. When they came through in the spirit, they were anything but mad at her. They were like, I'm coming in here to get you away from this other person in our family who's just completely like rocking your world right now. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to say. Sorry, I keep playing with my hair. I haven't washed it in unsaid amount of days. And I'm like, oh, good thing I have a headband in. Those who are on live, if you could ask one question about energy, about readings, about intuitives, angels, mediums, what would it be? Help me make it super simple, because it's like the person who has been using their iPhone forever and they try to explain to, like, it's like when my dad got an iPhone, I was like, I don't even know how to teach you how to use this thing. It's just so like intuitive and simple. So sometimes breaking it down. The biggest thing is when you set the intention, say, you hear this tonight or you hear the replay and you say, gosh, like my grandma that's crossed over, I know people talk about like getting messages or her guidance, like they are literally all around us all the time. It's like in Spy Kids, if we could put on those glasses and look around, we would be able to see everything. Like just they're one dimension away. And it's almost silly how we really train ourselves not to see and feel them, or to see and feel energy. Maybe it's not like loved ones. Maybe it's, oh, there goes my cat. Maybe you're sitting with someone that you work with and you're noticing their throat is always so tight and you can feel it when you're around them and they're communicating something about, your company with you and you're like, oh my God, their throat is so tight. And then you get little glimpses of them, in their relationship and notice like they're in an abusive relationship. Like these are things that you can trust, that even though you can't explain how to use your iPhone and how you know how to get into those apps and how you know how to do those fancy Instagram reels, but they're legit. They're there. What does it feel like sensing a presence? Okay. So was it me that broke the jar? You were at yoga this morning, but no, it definitely wasn't you. I worked with someone who wasn't in our class. She came in for a private session and we did some energy healing and there was a lot. I mean, I would say a decade worth of things that haven't been touched that came up and my body was feeling it. And it was just like, I was like, I don't even think I bumped into that jar. I like turned and my arm may have like connected with it and it just shattered. And then I felt better. So glass breaking always not a bad thing. Okay. What is it like feeling a presence? So interestingly enough, today I was seeing images. I was connecting through my third eye with her grandma. But on my right side, I kept thinking, I was like, is this mom's dad? She's like, no, this is mom's mom. But on my right side, I could feel this really cool angelic presence. I could feel like, I just was like, there is a male here, or this like male energy. I'm not understanding this. It didn't make sense to me until later we got in the session and I started to see Jesus. And she said, Jesus is on this person's, like one of their pieces of memorabilia from when they died. I was like, who's St. Thomas to you? And so she was telling me about it. And what was super fascinating to me is she was telling me, I was thinking that this person, this male energy then was probably like an angel, because they have this like really lovely, almost like cold like energy when they come in, and it's just like you can't quite put a finger on who they are, but they're really great. And this person, unfortunately, when they crossed over, did not look like a good person. Like there were some just, I don't want to give their information away, I don't think this would be, but like you could say criminal or unlawful things around their death. And I was like, no, this person is so good, so good. And that's what she was expressing. She was like, I've always felt like they were such a good person. And it just happened that they got wrapped up in this circumstance that ended things the way they did. Can we choose or set the intention with who we are having come in? Sometimes I think you can, like you can always, I just will have a knowing when someone, it goes both ways. I'm seeing two different circumstances. So I had a reading with a gal a couple weeks ago. She's like, my sisters told me to come see you. It's been a heck of a week. And I was like, don't tell me anything. She was Facebook messaging me and I was like, block me so I don't look at, and I wouldn't, but like, cause it just ruins the reading. I don't want to know anything about you. It's better that way. I literally know her two sisters. Like I couldn't believe through the reading, this person was sitting in front of me and their loved one told me the sisters' names, said both sisters' names. And I didn't put two and two together who this was until the end. She was like, I'll tell you who I am. And I was like, oh my God. But I knew when she sent that message, I was like, either a dad, an uncle, or a grandpa passed away. And it was a grandpa. And so I knew we would probably connect with him, and we did. She came in and I just said a prayer. I was like, all right, I feel like we're here to connect with this person. She just lost that she's really upset about. And then a gal that I read for not too long ago, I know her decently well, and I know that she's had like an animal pass away. I know that she's had a grandma pass away, and it was like a guide. I don't even know who it was that we were really like an angel guide, and I told her a name to look out for to confirm it. I'll have to check back in with her and see if she heard that name. But it wasn't any of the like the animal or the family member that I thought it would be. So you can set the intention, but it doesn't always happen. One thing that I do find, there were babies, like almost always, if a mom has miscarried or lost a child at a young age, if you ask for it, that child will almost always be there. Like, I want to say 9 times out of 10. And if they're not coming through, then they will soon, or they just have. But like young children are one that I think you can call in really, really easy. But again, we'll get into a reading here in a second, but I think it's really important that whoever you're working with, or if you're working on your own and connecting, that you allow it to be super authentic and have no agenda, and don't try to force anything. It's like I say, like a butterfly landing on your nose or a butterfly landing in your hand. If you try to grab that butterfly, it's going to go away, but just let it land, observe it, feel it, and it will go from there. Immediately, yes, almost agreed with lost babies. Yes. Okay. Well, this will be our last reading, kind of a smaller group tonight, which is also nice. I'm going to do a reading, and then this will be our last one for, I think, a week or two because of the holidays. And I can tell I'm just like kind of zapped from earlier today. Okay. Not that it will affect the reading, but I can tell just like my voice and my throat and everything that I'm not going to be able to stay on very long. I want to respect the energy and the gift. All right. How about this? Let's all set an intention. I want you to think of a question you have, maybe someone you feel like you'd like to connect with, and tap the heart. When you've set that intention, tap it, close your eyes, connect in. I'll watch for you guys to send your signal, and then we will start. Okay, awesome. Great. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, lots of intentions. Okay. So just starting to connect with our breath. Dropping into your body. I did some yin yoga before we got on, and that just helps me drop in. So if you're listening and you want to like roll out your neck, get on the floor and do a couple stretches, that can help your body sink in. You can start to connect with your energy field. Okay. So what I'm doing when I do this is I just let some like images come in and come by. Can anyone take, so if you're new to this, don't give me information, but I'm going to ask you some questions and tell you what I'm seeing. If it resonates with you, say, I can take that. Or if I'm like, you have a brown cow and your cow's black and everything else I'm saying is making sense, be like, I can take the cow, but don't correct me, if that makes sense. Okay. So a school bus, it just was like an almost, so there were 2 flashing images. It was like a school bus, which made me feel like a school bus driver, or the magic school bus, or like a yellow submarine. And I know that it starts off super, super vague every time. and then it starts to make sense. So there's your starting image, and be open to how it might start to connect. Okay, so my left side is starting to get a lot of chills and be really cold. So if you can take any of submarine school bus and you can take it around a female, you're probably on the right track. I feel like maybe there's a school bus driver that we're connecting with, or someone, who was in transportation, maybe a smaller woman. So a lot of times what will happen that I've noticed, where I've learned to really trust, is I'm literally getting a picture of a client. She's a tiny woman and she's a school bus driver, and I believe she's still living. I know she was pretty sick, but I haven't talked to her family in a while. But anyway, so it's like kind of like comparing this energy, the spirit is comparing to her. Can you take anything with the lungs around this person? Did they smoke, or did they have anything like cyst in their lungs or hardening of their lungs? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to drop back in. Emma said she can. Okay. So the more communicative you are, the easier it is for me to read. And then when it's pretty clear that it's one of you or two of you or three of you, then I'll pull you on if you want to come on camera, and then we can talk. Okay, so my left side is getting really, really, really cold. So there's a female, a feminine energy, some sort of like energetic feminine connection here. Maybe this woman walked with a cane or had some sort of support that she needed when she walked. And have you ever been in this bus? So I'm just being shown like inside the bus, like the gray seats. And it's like hilarious how I haven't been in a school bus in so long, but it's so real to be in the school bus. And you're walking in and you're looking on the right side, and the seats are empty, and you're just like looking for your seat here. And then left side is getting really, really cold. And then this is the part where I'm going to try to, so if you're connecting for yourself, if you go through this process on your own, or you're in meditation, you're feeling an energy, just get really still. Let the butterfly land. Trust, be in the experience. And start to feel the emotion, the personality. There's an air of loneliness here. Did you know this person when you were little, and did you ride their school bus? Can you take that? And so the best way, if you're picking up on any of this for you, is just to like say in the comments, I can take that. There's not a lot of other children on the bus, but there is a seat for you. And when you sit down, like you feel safe, but there's a little bit of loneliness here. I'm going to wait to see if anyone can take that loneliness. Yes. Okay. If you can tell me what part of that really sticks out to you and you can take, that's important. Okay. And now there's like a white, curly, almost like poodle kind of dog coming through, or like Bernedoodle, but like white, curly haired dog wanting to come through. Just kind of like passing by, saying hi. In my body, my hands are starting to hurt. So as we're working with this energy, like kind of like body aches and like a really heavy feeling, like I'm feeling kind of like I'm moving through mud, and like I'm like almost dizzy. There's a remnant of a reminder of maybe a girl who lost their mom that's involved in this. Bus driver lonely, you can take that. Okay. Like she's showing me this woman that I know that lost her mom, and it was just like, I read for her and she just couldn't believe like what her mom was saying. Her mom was encouraging her, like, open her heart and travel. It's like this woman, oh, you can take a white poodle. Good. I I think that will come through in a second. It's just the dog's like, hello. Yeah. Like really, like Emma, since you're taking a lot of this with the bus driver, like whose body just feels not well? Like feeling into it, I'm like, I think I need to get off this live. But it's not my energy. So let me know for that. Okay. We're definitely being pulled, a little bit of a detour. Stay on the bus, ride the bus, be with this bus energy, feel into the hands hurting, the heaviness like in the glue, and we're going to go with this white poodle for a second. Was this white poodle someone else's dog? Like, I'm just seeing you, like when you were growing up, like a younger version of you interacting with this white poodle. Let me know if you can take any of that. See if that resonates. Yes. Can you take the band, like, it's like an S Club 7 like band. Would this dog have to do with that time in your life? And does the dog link to your grandma at all? Was it your grandma's dog? Or was it somebody else's dog? Huh. My energy, my spirit is just telling me like you're going to be so done after this. These are going to be good readings. Link to grandma. Okay. I'm seeing it like I saw it first as a bigger dog, but is this I'm seeing it now as like a smaller dog. Was it a smaller white dog prior to S Club 7 times? Okay. Rogered. Registered, roger that. Kind of like a little yappy dog, or was it bigger? It showed itself as big, and now I'm seeing like smaller, kind of yappy, medium-sized poodle. Okay. So kind of in between the two. I mean, you were real little. Like there's a time grandma's making you grilled cheese. This dog is around. This dog is just the service. Okay. This is making sense to me because I know you a little bit. Now I'm seeing an emery, like an emery jewel or a crystal. And this is going towards you. So grandma's just making you a grilled cheese. This dog is around. It was before you felt like things really started to shift and shake in your life. So back when maybe this is something lodged in the subconscious, or lodged in like something that is not, like she's just saying that you're not necessarily stewing and dwelling on this anymore, but like a subconscious part of you, like back before I felt like my life just got really shook up. Yeah. Like grandma's making you a grilled cheese. It's literally like grilled cheese and like Campbell's tomato soup is what I'm seeing. You'll have to let me know if you used to eat that. And like everything was just okay then. It didn't feel like there was a fracture in the family or like your world had been shaken up. But then as things started to shift, you started to understand your sensitive gifts. So there was a memory, a time with your grandma. If you could go back, I'm now seeing like beaded, do you know those keychains that would come? A lot of times you'd get them as like a birthday present. There were like all these beads and this like plastic, almost translucent. It was like plastic string, and you could make like lizards or frogs, in which you had to like follow the beads correctly. It would say, okay, she would have made soup for someone else. So there was like, did you ever, who can take the beaded like lizards and frogs and these little keychains? Okay. So maybe you're there working on one of those. Was your heart beating pretty fast? I can feel it through mine. I can take the keychains. Yeah. Those are some cool keychains. We need to bring those back. I would definitely make one. I'd probably make like a bumblebee or sunflower. But anyways, okay. She's tapping in. My right ear is hurting. Have you been having any ear pain? Oh my God. She's tapping into your sensitivity, and then she's reminding me of when we reconnected several years ago, I think at your gym. And she's just kind of like dancing around that of like, remember this part of you, don't lose this part of you. It's just like a gentle reminder of like, like with your knowledge on crystals and energy healing, like she's just inviting you back. And she's just showing me like your career is doing really well, and there's a lot of like earthly and worldly things that are really taking off for you. Like you're moving up. Like I just see you in this like high-waisted pants with a belt, a suit, like maybe you've been wearing like suit coats, or you will be. You're going to be like in this high level position of work, but like don't forget this part of you that's always made you different and special. And have your hands been hurting? Whose hands are hurting? Or who had arthritis? Or like what is going on with the hands? Let me know if you can take that. It feels really, really important. It's like this like flashing sign symbol message that will not go away. Yeah, she just feels like Becca, it like makes me feel really teary-eyed, and you have to let me know how this is landing. Almost like for you, it might invoke some emotion and not a shame. Like the biggest thing is don't feel shame around this, but like when an old friend calls you and is like, oh my God, I've missed you. And you're like, I didn't even realize how much I missed you. And you're just like, it like brings you tears. My mom's hands are hurting. Okay. Is your mom, has she been tested for like a gluten allergy? Or your grandma's just showing me like gluten. Yeah. Whatever it is in that part of your career, there's like a bridge. And you first, if you tap into this and you sit with this and like for like 10 minutes in a meditation, or just as you're taking a shower and you go back to like when she was making you the grilled cheese and before things started to turn in your life, like your grandma was really the initiator of your sensitivities and of your gifts. Like there was something with her that helped you connect to them. No, but I've told her to change her eating. LOL. Well, there you go. Sometimes a test can be really helpful. Encourage her to have her doctor run an IgG wheat sensitivity test. And that can, a lot of times, like people are like, oh, well, I got some antibodies to that, so I probably shouldn't eat as much as that. And then her hands won't hurt and then she'll feel better. Okay. Do you have any questions while I feel like I'm like still on the phone with her, that you want to ask her, your grandma, before we disconnect? And then I think we're going to jump back on the school bus and then we'll probably be done for a little bit. She's showing me a Christmas tree and how like special it was a few of the Christmases that you guys had together. I'm just like relishing that memory. I want to ask her if a white poodle may be in my future. She's like, well, do you want one? Do you want it to be? Is there a dog you're looking at adopting? I feel like it has like in a good way, like a masculine energy name, like a Sparky, or like I was decorating the tree tonight, or like a Bonesy, or like it has a really sweet name, but something that's kind of like high energy name, like I don't know how other to say it than more like a yang energy name. So have you been thinking about getting a poodle, or is there one you're looking at in particular? She's just like, well, if you want it to be. She said, don't let the last one ruin it for you. I want a dog badly. There's one at the shelter, but I want one, but the relationship part is hard. There's one at the shelter, but I feel like there is one that you've been looking at. You have to let me know its name. It just feels like a Sparky or a Bonesy, or I can't really pull it, but it's, yeah, just like, yeah. She said if you want it, yeah. And to not let the last one ruin you. So maybe you had a bad experience with another pet or another person's pet, or like you're a pet sitting and it just like did not feel good to you. Just like dating, like it just wasn't your person. Ralphie. Oh, Ralph. Yes. Is Ralph like 2 or 3? Like a little bit older, not necessarily a puppy? I feel like that would be really good. Like the puppy energy is a lot. I mean, you know, my dogs, when I got Maya, when she was older, it was easier than when I got Sage when she was young. Just puppies they're like babies, and adult dogs can kind of fend for themselves a little bit. So, I'm not sure. I believe so. He's coming off of a hold right now. Yeah. I think he's about 2 or 3. Super sweet, just like really energetic, but he'll like chill when you want to chill. And I see him laying on your bed. And I do feel like the cats are going to be okay with him. Not that my opinion matters, but I think Jason said this, but I think you should go in the morning and get Ralph. Your opinion does matter. And Emma says, I think so too. Lots of intuitives in this group and this community, and they're like, yeah, I encourage it. It feels like a piece of your heart. And when you get Ralph, I want you to smell him. This sounds bizarre, but smell him and you will know. I think he's gonna bring back a smell that maybe you might have forgotten. Yes, bring Ralphie home. Well, okay, now you have to send me a picture so I can share it. Or I don't want to meddle in the energy. If things go the way that feels good for you and you want to share, let me know and I'll share it with the group. And because I'm like dying, I'm gonna go look them up, but I'm not going to. I reached out and asked the shelters, so we shall see what they say. This is amazing. Yeah, go bring Ralphie home. You can be Ralph's mama. I just feel like hearing like Ralph will chill when you want to chill, and Ralph will play when you want to play, and Ralph will walk when you want to walk. Like Ralph will co-regulate with your nervous system. Okay. Thank you. That feels complete. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, now thank you for this. That makes sense. So the first dog that came just like strutting on by was like this bigger poodle, and then your grandma had, I learned so much every time about using apps on your phone every time I read how it works. And then your grandma was showing me the smaller dog, but her little dog was coming through, but that was Ralph. Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll send all the photos when you feel like sharing. All right. Okay, I think it's time to get back on the school bus. If you're just hopping on, this is going to make absolutely no sense, but you're welcome to tune in. Ralph lovingly, I don't want to say interrupted, parted our first reading in 2 parts. Okay. All right, Emma, I'm coming back for you on the school bus. Did you ever write things in the back of the seats? I'm just seeing like a young girl feeling kind of lonely. Whoever the school bus driver is that's like crossed over, your throat's getting quiet. You can, there's no judgment. Or maybe you used to like color or like do something to the back of the seats. Almost feels like maybe there were like not nice things written there and you would try to like change them or make them look prettier or like do something different with the backs of the seats. Yes. Okay. And now your home's coming through. Can you let me know in detail what you did with the backs of the seats? Like what, if it was like someone wrote something ugly and then you made it pretty, or if you just like colored or doodled, because there's a parallel here with your home. I would imagine words out of the little creases. Aww, that's beautiful. Kids are so cool. And you would start to create something really, really nice. So I'm just like seeing your kitchen and your living room where they intersect. And that you could like just starting to look at this area like you would at the back of those seats. I think I colored, doodled. Yeah, you would just like, you were in this really beautiful creative flow, and you might, it's coming through because I do know a little bit more about your situation because we've talked recently. And you were saying there's like that heaviness. So when you're in your house, you're looking to the kitchen and the living room. I think there's a circumstance, maybe a decision you guys have made as a family that feels like kind of definite and like not like a death sentence, but just feels like heavy and like there's nothing you can do to change it. Can you let me know if this bus driver is crossed over too? Because that's like, she just won't stop. And I can't like pull anything from her. Okay, has she passed? Well, or this is where it gets, okay. Yeah, I think you're saying yep to the situation. Let's say yes, she's passed. If that resonates, yep as to what I'm saying. Okay. So that it does feel like a weight. If it's done, it's done. And if it's not done, you can always reevaluate it. But when you're looking at your house, because yes was male though. Okay. Kind of like frail though, would you say you could give this bus driver a feminine energy, like a caring, nurturing, and like small? I want to say this person was like small, petite, but he was very nurturing. Okay. But you're looking at, like when you're looking at your house, because I'm feeling like if this decision has been made, then like the house will be the house for a while. And like you can reimagine it, reinvent it. Like you would look at, like most people would be looking at the back of a school bus seat and being like, I don't know, it looks kind of like a butt crack. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But you would look at this and you would see these little masterpieces and like words, and like you can do that with where you're at right now. Okay. Did this school bus driver, did he have like a 4-letter name? Yes, it will be for a while. It's okay. It's okay. I want to say his name was like Glenn or Earl or like just, his name exactly is not coming to me, but he's like shorter, like smaller kind of guy. Norm even, 5. Okay. We're not going to play the name game, but let me know if his stature was smaller or if he was a larger guy. Because this could be 2 different people. And I'm just seeing like a little gnome of a guy, like just like the sweetest, like he would like invite you like to his house in a not weird way. And you felt really safe with him. Was there a Mario? You'll have to, now I'm kind of curious. Yeah. I don't think you need my help with his message to you. He's saying, I mean, obviously it's Emma. But just connect with him. And there's, a different person. He was normal height. Okay. I think you're going to get the message. I'm honestly not getting a lot from him, but the biggest thing is like, you would look at the back of that gray, boring bus seat and you would feel lonely and you would feel kind of stuck there. Like, I'm on this freaking bus. My mom put me on this bus. I don't want to be on this bus. And now you're looking at your circumstances. You're like, I'm in this situation. I didn't want to be in this situation. I feel like I got put in this situation. And like, what can you create from like the lines? But he looked over me even after I graduated high school. He was my elementary bus driver. Yeah, I don't know what is coming in super clear there. Do you have any questions? Can I end with a question for you? Let me see here. I feel like if there was any drainage in my head that I started with, it's all clear. So thank you. And that can happen as you're connecting energetically. And one of my mentors was just like, you always get like that spirit high. So when you're connecting in meditation, when you're automated writing, when you're praying, when you're giving a reading, whatever you're doing, and like you get those little like spirit hits. For me, I think it was Ralph's spirit, honestly, Becca. Then you get those spirit hits. They like the frequency of that energy alchemizes with yours and puts you in a better place than when you started. How? Okay. This is interesting. So I'm seeing, I don't think this is literal, but I think you will understand this. There's like these red like curtains or drapes. It's almost like partitioning, like creating new space. Like maybe if you're looking at, I wouldn't personally say like put a red partitioning curtain kind of like before the kitchen, but that is what is coming up, or whatever that might inspire you or bring to mind for you to do. Or even like above the stairs. I'm seeing, I don't know if this is how your house is laid out, but it's your living room, your kitchen, and then downstairs. And like something about, it's like a red suede fabric that you can work with to reinvent. Yeah, a division. Yeah. And I wouldn't like division. I don't know. I like really open houses and open rooms. So that wouldn't be something I'd personally say would probably be my go-to, but it might resonate with you. I keep wanting to type, I can take a lot of this. It may be 2 people coming in. That can happen a lot. Especially when I'm kind of like at the end of it, when it's like your neurons are like really open and alert, and then by the end of it, it's kind of like having your finger in electricity. You're just kind of like zapped out at the end. Partition will be in basement between rooms. Okay, that feels good. Jason, is there anything that I could give you, answer questions or you need from this reading before we close? Thanks for those who have hung out with us for so long. I was like, oh, tonight will be quick. Was it? Becca, I want to say I'm really bought into Ralph right now. Like, I'm just like, can't stop thinking about you getting Ralph. But I'm here, tapping it. Jason, just the like shorter guy. Okay, you're good. Well, chat with me later. If something comes up, but I feel like maybe that gnome guy, whoever he is kind of more for you. Okay. All right, guys, let me just take a deep breath. Send all the energy back. I hope that you got something from tonight. I hope you learned something about yourself, about energy. I'm so grateful for the poodle Ralph coming through. That's pretty cool. I'm going to sleep well and there's stuff lingering for Jason. Exactly. Yes. Jason, can you hold on for 1 second? I'm trying to close and everyone knows that there's stuff for you, but let me just, and here comes my cat, Sparta. Her tail says hi. That really, I'm going to sleep well and satisfied tonight, Becca. So thank you for being brave and going there with me. Like, Ralph is yours. Okay, let's get to this guy. This little gnome guy. I want to say his name is Norm or Gwen or Glenn or can you, his dog was named Sparta. Okay. Jason's friends have been very active today. Well, as soon as Sparta was laying on the heat vent, and as soon as we came back for you, she was like, here I come. Animals are easily influenced by energy. So they're the easiest things to control by spirits. It's like when you see the cardinal, 4 letters. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I learned so much every time I read. So for those who are curious about this work, because you'll probably get into it if you're curious about it, or you'll utilize it in your daily life. I'm freaking crazy. Why do I think 4 letters? And it was for someone else. Okay. He's literally a little gnome guy. But was he small? What did you say? The bud, the guy, the seats, the gnome, the bud. What did I say about the bud? I don't remember the bud. 4-letter name. Is he shorter in stature? Let me know. That seems really important. I just feel like this guy was kind of special. He got bullied and he knew it, but he also knew something about him was different. So he it's kind of like Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim was well, my leg's kind of messed up, but there's something special about me. And he was aware of his own light, this guy. And I want to say that something was different about his face, his, I don't want to, I'm not making fun, I swear. It's so cute the way I see it. It's he's kind of got this one little squinty eye. The bus. Yes, shorter, long beard. Can you take anything about, did he have anything different about his face, his leg, bullied, maybe, or like people kind of like laughed at him, but he liked it, knew he was different, was in touch with this specialness about himself. Was he your school bus driver? Man, school bus drivers making a comeback. These are all these bus drivers here tonight. You get a bus driver reading, and you get a bus driver reading. All right, Jason, type quick. I'm almost out of water. Anything about his physical appearance? No, we were on the bus together. Was there anything... Okay, so he wasn't your bus driver, but was he like... How was this kid different? Every day for 12 years. What was different about him? Like, did he have like a squinty... Like, I don't know. It's almost like a little... can you take that? Can you take... Like, what he's trying to show me is like, he knew something was different about himself. How so? What was different about him? I'm going to push Jason because he's my friend, and, you know, we're just... He did Popeye shit all the time. Okay. Oh, God. I just felt like his face was, like, deformed in that way, but that makes sense. And is he crossed over now? He had a beard at 12. Wow. How? That's impressive. Well... Back in your day, Jason, testosterone in men has declined quite rapidly since. Yes. She rode the bus with him. He knew something was different about him. And he's crossed over. Okay. And a shorter guy. Let me see if he wants to show me how it crossed over. Do you guys get the movies a lot? The movies, and then did he take his life or have some like creation around his own passing? I feel like that's a pertinent topic right now for a lot of us. Watched a lot together. Yeah, he was showing the movies. Eminem. You guys liked Eminem? Sparta is just going nuts. Do you know how he passed? I'm not going to move forward until we establish that. He's like, why are you worried, dude? Yes, no, car crash, his fault. Okay. I mean, could it be possible the car crash wasn't an accident? You know why he's coming to you. Because what kind of weekend have you had? I mean, I know things have been rough for you. Yellow. A lot of yellow t-shirts. Sparta, no. Yeah. Jason, your Vans. Emma said Vans. I've been pushing him on you all day so I didn't have to do the work myself. Well, he has me in a kind of like, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'll let you know, like I'll pick up on it, but it's just kind of like, it's a little quiet. LOL, it's your turn, she says. Yeah. Like I'm here to give all the confirmations. If you need another sign to know it's him, he's got plenty more I'm never gonna forget when a spirit tried to show me what Popeye was. And I was like, is his face deformed? Yellow. I'm seeing a lot, like a yellow t-shirt. Maybe like you guys like went to a concert together. Like Blink-182 and like Eminem. You guys like shared headphones or like, I don't know, you guys were cute. Good buds. Here's your message, Jason. He's encouraging you not to sink. He knows what it's like to sink in energy and to get down low and to get down to places where it's really hard to pull yourself out. He's like, nah, dude, don't do that. Let yourself feel, but you don't have to sink. Yellow, yes, all the time, was caught up in it. Yeah. I want you to ask him about his passing. I'm going to send you a request if you want to come on. You don't have to. But heard, understood, declined. That was what I was waiting for. We are good. Okay. You got what you needed. I know. Well, it feels better now. Now I feel like I can get off of here and let things rest for a couple weeks. I need to hear that. Yeah. I want you to really feel into some answers around his crossing. You didn't do anything to me. This is why I do this. It serves all of us. Like, I love connecting with, this is like my hobby. It gives me a chance to not talk about gluten until I'm blue in the face, even though it came up tonight, or not haunt people about celery juice, or, like, I love my work as a functional medicine nurse practitioner, but like, this is also what really lights me up. So it gives me a chance and a space to do it, and there's just always a need. We get to do a little energy healing. Okay. I want you, Jason, I want you to sit with him, just like a 5-minute timer when we get off of here. I don't think this needs to be like discussed on the video, but we can chat offline. And I want you to get some clarity around how he crossed over and what he kind of knew was going on before the accident or during the accident. Okay. But yeah, I would love for there's a lot of you who come like almost every week, or you guys watch the replays. I would love if you send my Instagram a DM and let me know. Let us know like what you're getting out of these lives. Like, do you like the teachings? Do you like the readings? Do you want more of the energy healing? We used to not do readings and do mostly like group energy healing. And don't be shy, because I really value your input. And I'm not sure, I don't think there would be a way to send it anonymously on Instagram or an email, but let me know like what you're getting out of these so that we can continue to serve this community and yeah, do just that. So beautiful 3 readings. Can't wait to meet Ralph. School bus is making a comeback, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I will see you guys in a couple weeks. This Sunday, I think Sunday is the 1st is New Year's Day. I haven't decided if I'll do one or not. I'll just wait and see if the energy's pulling me on or not. And if so, we'll do something for New Year's. And if not, we'll just have a couple weeks off. And I will see you guys soon.